Hey guys, I'm here to do my May wrap-up. If you guys watched my May TBR video, there's a lot of books that I said I was going to read. For the most part, I did stick to my TBR. I'm not going to go in which order I finished the books because they're all scattered around. They're scattered. So I'm just going to start off with saying that I did get to finish the Mortal Instrument series before City of Hamlin Fire came out last week. I don't know the proper terms. That came out on Tuesday, May 27th. In the month of May, I finished City of Glass, which I gave 5 stars, City of Fallen Angels, which I also gave 5 stars, and City of Lost Souls, which I gave 5 stars again. And they're all by Cassandra Clare. If you don't know that by now, where have you been living? Out of these 3, I do not know which one's my favorite. I love them, these 3. The feels that gave me, especially this one, City of Lost Souls. Oh my gosh, Jace. But I feel like I'm more of a Simon fan. I think I'm leaning towards Simon more than I am leaning towards Jace. I absolutely adored and loved this series. I don't know why. Again, I waited so long to pick this series up. I am not gonna go in an in-depth review of this series because this is gonna be a whole different video. Just keep that in mind. After finishing those books, I started on 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher, and those who've known me, who have followed me from the beginning, know that this is one of my absolute favorite contemporary books. It's probably #1 alongside The Book Thief. I gave this book 5 stars because rereading it just opened up all the emotions that just made me feel them again. It's just, I can't even explain. When I read this book, I was in high school. I think it was my sophomore, junior year. Those 2 years were brutal for me. Like any other teenager, I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know who I was. You know, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I read this book, it's just, you know, I could relate to Hannah in some way, not in all the things that happened to her, but it's just, I could relate to her a lot. Sure, now that I've reread this, I think it would have been much more better if it would have been just Hannah's story without Clay in it. The next 2 books that I read, one of them was an audiobook and the other one was an ebook. The book that I listened to, the audiobook, was The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I give The Perks of Being a Wallflower 4.5 stars. It was amazing. I loved it. I like how it was written. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I actually got a physical copy of the book, but at the time I didn't have time to read the book. I would just listen to the audiobook while I did my makeup in the morning before school, while I was doing homework, in the car. I don't know if I'd like to continue listening to audiobooks. I think I like better reading it because in my mind I can get the voices and the way I want the voices to sound and how I want the sentences to be said, and the way an audiobook does it, it's just flat. Like, they say the sentences and they don't, I feel like they don't put any emotion behind anything. It's just, I don't know. I don't think I'd continue on with audiobooks. Maybe if I absolutely have to, like if I go on a road trip or by some unknown factor my whole bookshelf disappears and my iPad does too, I guess I'd have to do audiobooks as a last resort. But as of right now, I don't think I'd be listening to any audiobooks anytime soon. And the last book I read in May was actually the first book I finished, and it's Stolen: A Letter to My Captor by Lucy Christopher. I give this book 4 stars. Overall, I did enjoy it. I like how the main character, Gemma, started writing this letter and telling her captor how slowly she started to believe everything he told her. You could tell that she was getting closer and closer to her captor, and she is just so confused. At the end of the book, she just didn't know how to feel anymore. She didn't know what to do and what was right and what was wrong. It was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. If you watched my May TBR video, you probably now know which books I did not get to read this month. Wow, I sounded like one of the newscasters. The 2 books that I did not get to finish in the month of May, but I did start both of them, were Salvaged by Alexandra Duncan, which I got 138 pages in, and Rochelle Mead's Game Board of the Gods, and I got 106 pages in. I think that's like chapter 5, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's chapter 5. It's chapter 10. I was halfway right. Get it? Yeah, high five! Anyways, these are the 2 books that I did not get to read in the month of May. I don't think I'll pick these up anytime soon. I was gonna do 2 videos for my May wrap-up and June TBR, but might as well do it in one video. On May 29th, I started reading City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I am currently on chapter 10 also. And I was hyperventilating. The end of chapter 9. Holy, I'm 249 pages in, and I already cried once. I'm planning on finishing up City of Heavenly Fire in the month of June, and it's, I kind of feel a little sad that this series is coming to an end. Mostly because I picked it up and finished this, and I actually had to rush through this series to be able to read this alongside with all of you guys, so I wouldn't be spoiled. And part of me, it's like, yay, you know, I want to know how this series ends. But at the same time, I'm like, I got to enjoy this series and a little time frame, and I feel like I did not get to enjoy them as much. So I do feel after I finish this, I'll probably reread City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of this one. I don't know, I lost count of how many cities I had said. Thankfully though, after finishing City of Heavenly Fire, I can dive in back into the Shadowhunter world, to the place where it all began. And yes, maybe I made the mistake of starting with the Mortal Instrument series instead of the Infernal Devices series, but whatever. The month of June, it is dedicated to Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. I don't have to be out of the Shadowhunter world anytime soon. I do plan on taking my time reading this series after I finish those Cassandra Clare books, because she's an amazing writer. If my mourning period for this series isn't too bad, I'm planning on reading some contemporary, because summer is here, and summer is the time for contemporary. The only contemporary author that makes the best summer reads is Sarah Dessen, and I'm planning on reading What Happened to Goodbye. This is actually one of her books that I have not read. All her other books I have read, as you guys can tell. I read. I've read those. I haven't read this one. Oh, and read Keeping the Moon, Someone Like You, and What Happened to Goodbye. These are the only 3 books that I have not read from Sarah Dessen, and Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite contemporary authors, and her books are great reads for the summer. Sure, her stories tend to be similar in themes and stuff, but you know, each story is different, and each story, you learn something different from each story. That is all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I finished City of Heavenly Fire. This is not City of Heavenly Fire. See how excited I am for this series? I can't. Ugh. I don't like that fan. Do you guys remember back in the days when the fans used to be around and it had the little thingamajiggers and you would talk to the fan and your voice would come back to you all robot-like, and I'd spend days doing that with the fan. I just liked having a robot voice. Okay, I'm done. I'll see you guys later.